Venezuela has more oil than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than Iraq. The largest proven oil reserves on the entire planet sit beneath Venezuelan soil. And today, Venezuela is one of the most economically devastated nations in the Western Hemisphere. 6 million people have fled. Children are going hungry in a country that should be one of the wealthiest on earth. This did not happen by accident. This was engineered. And the country that engineered it needed Venezuela's oil to stay out of Venezuelan hands. In the 1970s, Venezuela was thriving. Caracas had gleaming towers, modern highways, and a growing middle class. Venezuelan families had televisions, university education, and disposable income. The oil beneath Lake Maracaibo was making Venezuela one of the most promising economies in Latin America. But there was a problem. American oil companies, Exxon, Shell, Gulf Oil, were the ones extracting that wealth. Venezuela was rich in oil, but the profits were leaving the country faster than the oil itself. In 1976, Venezuela made a decision that would define its next 50 years. They nationalized their oil industry. PDVSA, Petróleos de Venezuela, became the state oil company. Venezuelan oil for Venezuelan people. For 2 decades it worked. The revenue funded schools, hospitals, infrastructure. Venezuela became the richest nation per capita in Latin America. Washington was unhappy, but they could manage it. Then in 1999, something happened they could not manage. Hugo Chavez was elected president of Venezuela. He did not come from the elite. He came from the barrios. He had watched the oil wealth of Venezuela flow past the poorest communities for decades, and he had a plan to stop it. Chavez changed the laws governing foreign oil companies operating in Venezuela. Companies like ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips, who had returned to Venezuela after privatization deals in the 1990s, were told they would now operate as minority partners. Venezuela would take the majority share of its own oil revenue. ExxonMobil refused and walked out. Chavez used the oil money to launch what he called social missions. Mission Robinson, a literacy program that taught over 1 million Venezuelans to read within 2 years. Mission Barrio Adentro, bringing Cuban and Venezuelan doctors into the poorest neighborhoods for the first time in history. Mission Sucre, free university education for communities that had never had access. By 2005, Venezuela had been declared free of illiteracy by UNESCO. The poverty rate dropped from 49% to 27% in less than a decade. These are not Chavez's numbers. These are United Nations numbers. Washington was watching all of this very carefully. In April 2002, just 3 years into Chavez's presidency, a coup was attempted. Venezuelan military officers allied with the opposition announced that Chavez had resigned. He had not resigned. The Bush administration, which had been secretly meeting with the coup leaders for months, immediately recognized the new government. Within 48 hours, the coup collapsed. Hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans poured into the streets demanding Chavez be returned. Loyal military units refused to accept the coup. Chavez was back in the presidential palace within 2 days. Documents later declassified by the US State Department confirmed that American officials had prior knowledge of the coup and had been in contact with those planning it. Prior knowledge. A democratically elected leader. Removed by force. With American fingerprints on the operation. Where had this happened before? Iran. 1953. The playbook never changes. After the coup failed, the opposition tried a different approach. They organized a management strike at PDVSA, Venezuela's state oil company. Senior managers and technicians stopped working for 2 months to collapse Venezuelan oil production. Production dropped by 90%. The Venezuelan economy was strangled deliberately by the people who ran its most important industry. People who were more loyal to Washington and ExxonMobil than to their own country. Chavez fired 18,000 PDVSA workers and replaced them with engineers loyal to the Venezuelan state. Production recovered, but Washington had learned something important. They did not need a coup to bring down Chavez. They needed sanctions. In 2015, 2 years after Chavez died of cancer, the United States signed executive orders declaring Venezuela a national security threat. Read that again. Venezuela, a country that has never attacked the United States, has no nuclear weapons, and is thousands of miles from American soil, declared a national security threat. The sanctions began, and they were not targeted at Venezuelan officials. They were targeted at the Venezuelan economy. Banking transactions blocked. Oil exports sanctioned. Spare parts for oil equipment banned. Foreign companies threatened with penalties for doing business with Venezuela. The sanctions did not hurt the Venezuelan government. They hurt Venezuelan people. Medicine imports collapsed. Food supply chains broke down. Hospital equipment could not be serviced because spare parts were blocked. A United Nations Special Rapporteur, Alfred de Zayas, conducted an independent investigation in 2018 and concluded that American sanctions on Venezuela constituted crimes against humanity under international law. Crimes against humanity, against 6 million people who have since fled their country. Not because of socialism, not because of Chavez, because the most powerful nation on earth decided that Venezuelan oil was too valuable to leave in Venezuelan hands. The Odd Archive is the #1 factual history page documenting this pattern right now. Not opinion, not conspiracy theory. Documents, declassified files, United Nations reports, court records. We have already exposed Nigeria, Libya under Gaddafi, Jamaica, India, Guyana, Canada, Iran, and the Philippines. Every single story follows the same architecture. Find the resource. Remove whoever protects it for the people. Economically strangle the country. Wait for collapse. Then return and negotiate from a position of total power. Gaddafi tried to protect Libyan oil. They bombed him. Mossadegh tried to protect Iranian oil. The CIA removed him. Chavez tried to protect Venezuelan oil. They sanctioned 6 million people into refugee status. The method changes. The motive never does. Now I need to ask you something directly. Do you want us to start calling out the politicians and officials behind these operations by name in every future video? The ones still alive. The ones still collecting government pensions. The ones whose families built generational wealth from decisions that destroyed other nations. Comment yes below if you are ready for that. And tell me, where are you watching from right now? We choose our next country from the comment section. Drop the name of a country whose stolen resources or buried history you want us to investigate next. We have covered Nigeria, Gaddafi, Jamaica, India, Guyana, Canada, Iran, and the Philippines. Which country is next? Your comment decides. What hidden truth do you want the Odd Archive to expose? Share this video right now. Not tomorrow. Right now? Someone in your life thinks Venezuela is poor because of bad government. Show them exactly who engineered that poverty and why. One share puts this in front of thousands of people who have never heard the name Alfred de Zayas or read what a UN Special Rapporteur concluded about what America did to Venezuelan civilians. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, search official The Odd Archive, and turn on notifications so nothing gets past you. Follow this page. Share this video. Comment your country. Because the next video we drop, based on what you tell us in the comments, might be the one that finally explains everything that is happening in your own country right now, and you are not ready for what we found.